And now we have our example number 9 for using the chain rule on a quotient. And so we're going to start with our low d high. Low d high, the derivative of the top is going to first start off with the power rule. So we could do 5 times the parentheses raised to the 4th. Then we have to rip the guts out of this. We have to say, we go back to the parentheses and say, what is the derivative of 3 alpha to the 4th? That's 12 alpha cubed. So again, the derivative of the top, I start with the power, so it's 5 parentheses to the 4th. I rip the guts out of there and do a derivative, which would be 12a cubed. Minus high, so there's my numerator, times the derivative of the denominator. So once again, we have to do a power rule here. 3 parentheses raised to the 2nd. And we go back to the parentheses, and the derivative of the parentheses would be 10 alpha to the 4th over the denominator squared. On the next line, you notice that we had this cubed squared, so I wrote that denominator raised to the 6th. I multiplied my 5 and the 12 alpha cubed to get the 60 alpha cubed in the front, and then parenthesis. In a similar way, I took this 3 and this 10, brought it in the front as a minus 30 alpha to the 4th, and then wrote what they had, these sets of parentheses here. And my next step, I look at what I have here. Looks like I just rewrote that. So I could illustrate, I'm going to pull out what they have in common. I'm going to do the GCF, I'm going to factor out. So from here and here I have this 30 alpha cubed that I pull out. I have 2a to the 5th minus 4 raised to the 2nd. Here it's the 3rd, here it's the 2nd. So I pulled out that parenthesis raised to the 2nd. In a similar way, I have this parenthesis and this parenthesis, this 3 alpha to the 4th minus 5 raised to the 4th and raised to the 5th. So I can pull that parenthesis out, factor it out, raised to the 4th. And I look at what I have left. From the 30 alpha cubed, that left me with 2 times 2 alpha to the 5th minus 4 raised to the 1st. From the second set of terms, I pulled out all that stuff. I was left with alpha times 3 alpha to the 4th minus 5. I'm able to expand this. I can distribute and combine like terms there. And what I want you to see here for this next to last step, notice how I had this 2 alpha to the 5th minus 4 squared. Because that was factored out and this was a series of products, I am allowed to cancel this with part of what was in the denominator. I have 2 of these here, 6 parentheses down there. I cancel those out. The denominator goes to the 4th power. I'm left with the 30a or 30 alpha cubed, the 3 alpha to the 4th minus 5 raised to the 4th, and then I simplified this. As I expanded, I simplified. So I had 4 alpha to the 5th minus 3 alpha to the 5th, which gave me alpha to the 5th. And then I just continued to expand this. This became plus 5 alpha to the 5th, plus 5 alpha, and minus 8. So that was alpha to the 5th plus 5 alpha minus 8. That's what this bracket simplified to. And there's my final derivative. Okay, so this went from a very complicated expression down to something not quite as complicated.